where are you? You're here, in a land where water is drained to Lake Erie by many creeks and rivers. You live in the watershed of one of these. And you live in a land that was once mainly rural, but is becoming more and more developed. As a homeowner, you are involved in where your household wastewater goes and how it's treated. But do you know where that water goes and how it's treated? First, ask yourself, am I on a city sewer system, or do I have a home sewage treatment system, often known as a septic system? It's pretty easy to tell. If you get a sewer bill each month, you're using a city sewer system to remove and treat household waste. And if you don't get a sewer bill, you're the proud owner of a home sewage treatment system, and with that ownership comes responsibility. Now, here's another question. What is a home sewage treatment system? Simply put, it's a process for draining and treating waste from toilets, washing machines, dishwashers, sinks, tubs, and showers. The treated water is then released into the soil in your yard or directly into streams and rivers leading to Lake Erie. When your sewage treatment system is working right, it collects solids and treats contaminants like pathogens, bacteria, and viruses in the wastewater. But if your system is not working properly, the wastewater can contaminate your drinking water and also pollute our rivers and creeks. That means you can have a serious impact on public health and the quality of our land and our water. And when it's time to sell your home, your system will be inspected by the health department. If there's a problem, it can decrease the value of your home, and you may end up replacing the entire system, costing at least $10,000 to $15,000. So you need to know and understand three key things: how your home sewage treatment system works, what can go wrong, how to recognize when and what happens, and what to do about it, and finally, how to keep your system working right and prevent failures. Liquid waste from your home drains through pipes and then into the home sewage treatment system on your property. The system collects and treats the solids and then releases the liquid into the soil in your yard or into a stream, depending on the type of system you have. There are three basic types of systems: mound systems, soil drainage systems, and aeration systems. All of these systems use septic tanks to collect solids and treat wastes, but each one handles the liquid portion in a different way. A mound septic system uses a raised bed of soil in your yard. Treated water is pumped from the septic tank into the mound and then trickles downward through the gravel and sand. This cleans and filters the wastewater before it seeps into the soil below. These systems are common in areas with poor soil drainage. If you have a soil drainage system, you have a leaching bed in the yard with underground pipes. You might see a tank lid somewhere in the yard, or it may be completely buried and you'll see no sign of the system. Once the wastewater and sewage enters the septic tank, bacteria breaks down solids into liquid. Any solids remain at the bottom of the tank. The liquid exits the tank and enters into the underground drain pipes in your yard. This liquid slowly drains through the holes in the pipes and is cleaned and filtered as it seeps through the soil. The third type is an aeration system. This requires electricity, so you probably have a control box in your garage or basement. You'll also see a tank lid with a breathing tube in your yard. An aeration system uses a tank with 3 compartments, creating a 3-step process. The first section is a septic tank, holding the waste without letting air in. The second section uses an electric motor to inject air into the system to process waste more quickly and completely. The third compartment allows the remaining solids to settle before the treated water is discharged. Some aeration systems discharge into the soil through a mound or underground drain pipes. But ultimately, many are discharged to streams or ditches. Whichever system you have, if it's properly maintained, the process works. By the time the treated wastewater travels 2 feet through proper soil, any microorganisms that cause disease are killed, either through electrochemical process, mechanical means, or bacteria that naturally exist in soil. But to keep your system working properly, you must maintain it.
Household sewage treatment systems are a very good way of treating wastewater. Systems like mound systems, septic tanks and leaching tile fields, and aeration systems have proven to be a very effective method of treating wastewater. However, it is important that the homeowner take good care of them, maintain them properly, and if they do that, they can get 25 years or even longer in the life of these systems.
I would probably tell the homeowner that they need to clean their tank every 2 to 3 years. If they let it go longer, you take the risk of putting too much sludge out into your filter system. And when you do that, they should know by now what they just had to pay to put one in, and you don't want to do that twice in your life.
In one home, we had a home system that actually backed up into our bathtub. And long story short with that problem is that tree roots, we had 2 big trees, the roots had grown into the tank and caused the system to back up. And so therefore you had to have that pumped out and a new tank installed because it had actually destroyed the tank. In the second home that we lived in, we had an aeration system and the pump actually burned up. And the problem with that was that the filters had not been cleaned. And so by not properly maintaining your home systems, you can have a lot of problems.
Lived here for 13 years, never looked at the system, never did anything to it until it failed on me. And it failed twice within a year's time and made a very large mess, costly mess in the house. The problem was all the lines backed up solid into the house. They were backed up, packed full of sewage all the way, and there was no way to get anything out of it except for basically pulling the clean out ends off, which let all of the sewage that was in the line go into the house, but there was really no other alternative way to get rid of it. Would have known more off to clean it. I wouldn't have had the backup that I did. The outlet would not have been plugged. Knowing now, yeah, if I'd have had it pumped, it would have never happened to me, for sure.
There are 3 issues with a failed system. The first one would be the cost that could be involved to repair, replace your system. The second issue would be the possible illness or disease that you and your family would experience. And 3 would be the contamination of our lakes and rivers.
If there is a breakdown or failure in your home sewage treatment system, you'll see these danger signs. Slow drains or gurgling sounds. A constantly wet, spongy, and green area in the yard, even during dry weather, probably an area you avoid with the lawnmower. Areas of stagnant water with black or gray sludge. A sewage smell in certain areas of the yard. Black or gray water discharging into a stream if you have an aeration system that has failed. And finally, sewage backup into the house. This rarely occurs, but it is the most obvious and dramatic sign. If you notice any of these danger signs, you probably have a breakdown in your home sewage treatment system.
I would tell other homeowners they need to treat their septic system just like any other part of their home. Sealing your driveway, maintaining your roof so you don't have a leak, your plumbing, if you have a leaky faucet, you hurry up and fix that. If you fail to maintain your septic system, it can lead to huge repair bills, digging up your yard, so it's it's just so much easier just to maintain it on a routine basis, just like you'd give your car a checkup. You give your septic system a checkup.
To maintain and protect your home sewage treatment system, you should know where your septic tank, underground drain pipes, or mound is located. Have your system inspected every year. Have it pumped out by a licensed contractor every 3 to 5 years, depending on the number of people living in the home. Maintain the mechanical pump if you have an aeration system. Call a professional service at the first sign of a system breakdown.
I've been cleaning septic tanks since I was 13, 14 years old, about 27, 28 years now. When you're out doing it, you see a lot of different things, run into a lot of different horror stories out there. One of our most recent ones was probably this spring. I cleaned a tank that had been over 10 years, and because of that, the upflow filter backed up, and so it took a lot longer to clean. And when the upflow filter backs up, it usually backs the water up in the tank and stuff, and so it ruined his motor. So he had to get the motor, fixed or replaced, and you're talking anywhere from $200 to $800 when you do something like that, when you don't clean it often enough.
You can also prevent problems by not overloading your system with big surges of water. Here are just a few simple ways to conserve water. Avoid running several extra large loads of laundry one after the other. Consider buying a new washing machine that uses less water. Compost food waste instead of using a disposal. They create solid waste that can plug up a septic system and create a need for more frequent pumping. If you do use a disposal, use it rarely. Turn off water while you shave or brush your teeth. Use water-saving devices for toilets and shower heads. To protect your system, here's a list of things you don't want to do. Don't allow anyone to park or drive over any part of the system. Don't install a pool or deck over your septic tank. These don't allow access for pumping and maintenance. Don't flush things like coffee grounds, cigarette butts, fat, grease, or oil, sanitary products, or hazardous chemicals down toilets or drains. Don't open the septic tank lid or go inside it. This can be fatal. Don't plant anything but grass over or near the underground drainage area or on the mound. Roots from shrubs may clog drain lines, and garden plants can be contaminated. Don't dig or build over the drainage area. Don't use additives. They aren't needed and can cause damage.
I'd say don't put the septic additives into your tank. It will hurt your system more than it will help your system. And if you get too much sludge out into your bed or into your filter, then you have ruined the filter or your bed, and that's a big expense in the end.
The problem is out of sight, out of mind. If a homeowner doesn't see this part of their system, they tend not to maintain it. So the best thing to do is to think about it like your car. Your car needs frequent maintenance, and so does the home sewage treatment system. It needs to be pumped out every 3 to 5 years. If there's any electrical components, they should check to make sure they're operating properly.
I think the bottom line when you're purchasing a home is to ask as many questions you can about the maintenance of the home, and one is the home sewer system. And if you know how to take care of that, you can maintain it a lot better and not run into problems in the long run. Because of what we know now, we are on a maintenance plan, and we have our system checked regularly. It's a plan that every 6 months someone comes in, cleans the filter, checks the pumps, and makes sure it's in good working order. If there is a problem, we know ahead of time and can get that corrected before it becomes a horror story.
Now that you know how your home sewage treatment system works, see if you can pass this quiz. Who is responsible for maintaining your home sewage treatment system? Why maintain your home sewage system? How much will it cost to replace a failed system? How will you know if your system is breaking down? What should you do to maintain your system? To prevent breakdowns, what should you not do? And finally, how is your system like your car?